We're doing the live at 5 from the bed.
With a cast still.
Can you go?
No,
Do you see
that
that?
was really up close.
Flash
Sorry.
of red. You have to catch it now because it's getting off tomorrow.
That's going to be replaced with a boot.
Yeah, but it
Personally,
probably won't
can't
be
wait.
red and fabulous like this one is. So I'm glad you guys got to see the flash of it. All right, so we just finished a really long but really good free training on remote investing. So we're kind of wiped out from that, but you know, we don't want to just not show up and see you guys for a few minutes. So we're gonna keep it short, but I got some good stuff for you guys. All right, so as always, we're gonna start with client wins and journey updates. So Lupe closed on her first performing, it wasn't performing, it was a fixer, her first fixer duplex last week. She's closing on her first performing duplex next week, and then she has 2 more properties under contract, a duplex and a single family home. So Lupe is like, I think she's gonna be like the next Steve.
I think so too.
She's getting wild. I'm like, girl, I'm going to put you on restriction, but she's doing great, and we're really excited for her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Good stuff. Battelle closes on Hotel Battelle tomorrow. So Battelle's buying a 9-unit property in Florida that she is going to take all of her Airbnb skills and run it as an Airbnb, like 9 properties, but under one roof. So that was her first multifamily acquisition, and closes tomorrow. We did a review of the closing statement yesterday, and everything looked good, and so this is really exciting.
It is fun.
Woohoo! I mean, this is something that's been in the works for like years. Not that specifically, but her whole dream. She moved from Israel a really long time ago to New York, and her whole dream was, I want to have a hotel called Hotel Battelle. And she did it.
Winning.
She manifested it. So then tomorrow, Hotel Battelle will exist. And Steve closes on another duplex next week. Now, it's the same one I think we talked about last week, but there's been some delays, and I'm actually going to talk about that in our learning opportunity shortly.
Yeah.
You want to talk about our...
Sure. We had a
new
new action taker. So this week we had, I believe it was on Sunday, Griffin Brads joined the mastermind, the Cashflow Coliseum mastermind. So welcome to the group, Griffin. We're super excited to have you and can't wait to see you just rocket ship out of here with your business.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yay, Griffin. Okay, so topic of the week. So interesting, I was telling Jen, I've never taught this before because it never really has come up until yesterday. And so Steve Caro, who many of you have heard his name over and over because he's been in our mastermind since the very beginning, since it started in February, and he's just been like acquiring, and learning a lot of lessons along the way, because that's how you learn, by doing, right? So he has a duplex under contract, and I think I told you guys a week or two ago that he successfully negotiated a price reduction of $7,500. So that was really cool. Now, what I didn't know until last night is that it's vacant. So I always think when you're buying a vacant property, you're getting hard money. But in this case, it's not a fixer-upper. There's like a few little things that need to be done, but it wasn't a fixer-upper. So he's getting conventional financing on it. And what's been happening is, through the home inspection, he found out there was X, Y, and Z wrong, negotiated the price reduction, so awesome, he's good there. The appraiser came out, and the appraiser has like been nitpicking it because it's going through conventional financing. So they're like, oh, there's a soft spot in the roof, oh, there's a broken window pane. And so because of those things, the financing couldn't go through. So basically Steve was like, okay, well, I'll just handle those things, I'll just pay for them, and so we can close. So herein lies the lesson. And it's challenging because you can almost get, what is it called like in poker? When you're
pot committed?
You're pot committed, right? So it started off with a couple of minor things, a soft spot in the roof, a broken window pane, like just some minor things. And so Steve just came out of pocket because in his mind, he's like, well, I have a $7,500 credit. So like, who cares? There's maybe $1,000, no big deal. Here's the challenge. And I think he realized it because he brought it up on the call yesterday. He's like, oh yeah, I have all sorts of messes going on here. And we just talked through it, and he knows everything that he did that he would do differently in the future, but sometimes you don't really think about it until it happens, or you hear someone else that you know going through it. Anyway, so he got those things done for, I don't remember the amount, let's call it $1,000. And he's like, okay, well, I mean, it's fine, I'm closing on it, so, and I'm good, I got that $7,500 credit. What should have happened is that the seller should have repaired those things, and they could have reduced the credit, because what if Steve doesn't end up buying it? What if the owner dies? we didn't even talk about that yesterday. What if the owner dies and he can't sign the documents, he can't sell it? Steve's out of pocket whatever money he put into it. So the challenge is, so the appraiser came back out and those things were done. And then the appraiser found some other thing. Oh, well, the water's not on. And then as they got further into that, there was like some major plumbing issue that went out to the water main. So Steve's like, oh man. So he came up with a solution, but it kept being money out of pocket. And so he was pot committed, right? He had already put money out in order to protect his money and close. He put more money out. And then there was more money. And all of a sudden he's like, oh shoot. And now because there's been all these delays and the appraiser came out again and then had some other random thing. And like the plumber didn't connect the hot water tank, something like that. So he still hasn't closed. So now yesterday he's like, oh my God, I put all this money out and I thought I was good because I have that credit coming, but the seller can back out because I'm out of contract at this point. And I was like, you're 100% right. Like that is true. You should never put money out of pocket. And he's like, yeah, I realized that. But at first I was like, it's just a little bit of money, but then it just kept being more. And now it's, it's added up quite a bit. So in the future, the seller needs to fix it if you're going to do conventional finance. Oops. Oops, phone rang. Anyway, one of the challenges is that it was a cash offer, so it wasn't intended to be financed originally. Although in the negotiating after he had it under contract, he did change it to be financed, so the guy knew, but it wasn't contingent on financing. So he would have had to work through it. But the better thing is don't put money out of pocket, because if for some reason the closing doesn't go through, which it's not likely, it's not going to go through, but it's possible. Anything is possible in real estate. Wow.
Do you hear that? That's your cat.
It's not my cat. If it's meowing like that, he's your cat. Meow.
He's hungry.
He's hungry.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's 5:00. It's time for the cat to eat. Anyway, so he could back out. So Steve was starting to low-key freak out yesterday. Probably because there's so much stress, and he's got like this whole portfolio over 20 units now that he's done. And he's like, man, what if the seller backs out? So here's the other learning lesson. And I was like, well, what's the seller's motivation for selling? Like, why is the seller selling? And I don't remember what he said. I don't know if he even knows, but there's no tenants in there. So the guy's not bringing in any money. So he really doesn't have a reason to back out. And so we talked through that. And I was like, the thing you got to understand, Steve, is you're delayed by maybe a week. Okay. Because the water tanks got reattached. You have to have the appraiser come back out. Appraiser's charging $100 every time. So he's nickel and diming Steve to death on the appraisal stuff. But once he comes back out, that should be the last thing he'll be able to close. So I'm like, you're maybe 1 week out. If the seller backs out at this point, you got to think about it from his perspective. He's going to have to put the property back on the market and wait for someone to make an offer. They're going to come back and want to renegotiate. They're going to have due diligence. They might back out. Their financing might fall through. I mean, it might end up being months before he gets paid. Or he could just stick with it and get paid next week. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. My realtor said the same. I said, so first of all, don't attract the thing that you don't want to happen by focusing on it. Like, go watch The Secret. Go watch The Secret and focus on the sale. But the reality is when a seller's that close, oh, yes. So glad to hear that, Steve. Oh, appraisal is done now and all good. Finally, you should send that appraiser a special gift. Anyway, so you just want to know, like, when you're in a deal like that, you recognize that the reality is the seller could back out. But in the circumstance like that, they really don't have any compelling reason to do so. It's not going to help them. Part of Steve's concern is like, I've made these improvements to this property now. And that is true. That's another reason you wouldn't do it, right?
Can I really quick step in?
Yeah, totally.
I like to give an analogy on this one, and it's an entanglement trap, right? So the first door opens and it's like, oh, there's this problem. And, sometimes as an investor, you get super freaking excited and addicted to acquisitions and closing them and building up this pretty little empire. I'm not going to say any names, but it rhymes with Stacy Conkey.
I get you, Steve.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that when you are that motivated to get that property and close, like, oh God, I just want to get my deal. I want to get my deal. Sometimes your judgment is clouded, right? And so that first door opens with we need this and we need that. Bring me a red rock, bring me a blue rock, bring me a striped rock. And the first time you step through that door to go get the red rock and it closes behind you, it's like, oh shit. Now that door is closed, my $7,500 is gone, and now I have to do nothing but continue to go forward. And I mean, it could be a labyrinth of doors. So just be cautious of the first door. You can step through it, look, don't walk over the threshold though. Okay. So that's just the analogy that I like. It's an entanglement strategy. And then you're just stuck like Chuck. You don't want to, or stuck like Steve. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah, it's just interesting because that, like, I've never had to coach someone through that before, but we have dealt with stuff like that before. So I was like, oh, that's a perfect topic because it's never come up before. So anyway, Steve, I'm glad that you learned that you're getting opportunities to learn all sorts of cool things, and that's just going to serve you. You're going into apartments now. So, you know, as you do that, you step into that bigger world, there's bigger challenges and bigger things you got to figure out. And if everything went smooth on all the little ones, you know, you're not that prepared for when the big challenges come. So I'm glad, and you've learned things that you're like, okay, I wouldn't do that again. You're not going to get burned on this one, but you could have, but you're not. So that's good, but you still got the lesson, and you also shared it with everybody in the group. That means everybody in the mastermind got to benefit from your experience. And I really honor that you're willing to share that, because that's really a gift that you give to everyone.
In corporate America, we used to call that shit a near miss, right? Like you just missed that huge problem. So congratulations on getting through that, Steve. I'm glad it came back okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you're about to close. That's great
super
news. Good news. Okay, so we'll keep that short. I don't know if we really have any announcements other than the thing we just did.
Yeah, we just did that free training on the remote investing today. I'm going to post something like, hey, did you miss it? If you did miss it, then there'll be an opportunity for you to receive a link. We have to take it, upload it, put Vandy knows near miss like that. Yeah, exactly. We put, like, you know, we just edit the whole thing, and then we'll have that link available for those of you that missed it. And then anybody that registered for it, I know that Mamoon will send an email out to all of those that we already have your email address, because I think 95 people registered for it. So we'll get that out to you guys.
Yeah. What about the training in 2 weeks?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. We have a training in 2 weeks. The poll that you guys did for me, right? So you guys said, oh, we want to know remote investing first. I think it was like only 25 people voted on that, and 20 people voted on how do I build an investor packet. So, and then the last one was how do I negotiate a price reduction? So we stuck like Steve. That's hilarious. So we're doing the second training is going to be on September 23rd at 3 o'clock. That's actually my birthday, so that'll be fun. We're going to do the how to create the investor packet training. You guys will be seeing a post kind of warming you up to that idea probably tomorrow around, I don't know, I schedule all the posts for 5 a.m. in the morning to hit the East Coast, and just throw down there that you want to get on that and you want to see that. But what the investor packet, what it does is it helps you, we walk you through specifically how to get all the information about your deal and organize it and present it in a way that attracts the investors, or I don't know, buyers that you want, right? In a way that's like
lenders.
Or lenders, yeah. In a super polished way. Yeah. And what we usually like to do is once you're like trained on that, we'll invite you to the property tour and get you on the property tour where you can present your deals, and then we span that out to, we have about 10,000 followers, so your deal gets a lot of touches. That sounded weird. And that's all for that. So look for that post tomorrow, and just put a comment in the post that you want to go. And I think Mamoon's going to be creating an event so that you can go register there also. It should probably be coming up pretty soon so that you guys can go in there. September 23rd is going to be in 2 weeks.
Right on.
Cool.
All right. And other than that, we'll be here live at 5. Warrior training happened on Mondays. The next one will be next in October, first week of October.
Usually do it the first Monday of every month is the Warrior Mindset training.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, have an amazing week. It's our honor to be here with you guys on your journey. And just let us know how we can continue to serve you. Have a good one.
Bye.
If you're interested in learning more about real estate investing or investing in passive income, multifamily, or apartments, feel free to join our free private Facebook group. If you know that you want help, you know you want someone to hold your hand, and you know you want to be part of a mastermind and have coaching, all that you need to do is text the word freedom to 619-373-8461. So if you just want to see, like, what is that about and how can I speed up my results and do it more safely, I'd be happy to chat with you about what your options are and see what we can do to help you along your journey.